Cheryl Miller is an icon of women's basketball. Widely considered among the greatest of all time, Miller was a 4-time All-American and 3-time Naismith Award winner. She led the Trojans to 2 national championships and is the school's all-time leader in points, rebounds, and free throws. USC would retire her number, making her the first Trojan basketball player, man or woman, to receive the honor. At the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles, Miller helped lead the United States to a gold medal. Following her illustrious career on the court, she continued to trailblaze off of it, covering the NBA for 17 years as a reporter, commentator, and analyst, and would become the first female analyst to call a nationally televised men's professional game in 1996. In 1995, Miller was inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame and continues to serve as an inspiration to women's sports.
Does she ever? Cheryl Miller is one of those resumes that is far too vast for one page on the television screen, but we have done our best to summarize it. 2 national titles as a player at USC, the only 2 in school history to this point. A 4-time All-American, Olympic gold medalist, also successful coach and broadcaster, as you heard, but we ran out of room here. Just an amazing career. Cheryl Miller is with us now. She is our big interview today. And Cheryl, I have to say, before we get going, I love your Zoom backdrop there of the Mount Rushmore of women's basketball at USC. Unfortunately, you know, you're blocking yourself out just a little bit there, and Cynthia Cooper as well. But it's truly an amazing group. And I want, you know, we're honoring Black History Month, and that's part of the reason, obviously, we're honoring the pioneers this month. And wanted to talk to you a little bit about that 1983 team that you were on. The McGees are on that Mount Rushmore there, yep. And they were on the cover of Jet magazine when you guys had it rocking and rolling. You were at the Grammy Awards dribbling while Donna Summer sang. I mean, really was an amazing time. It was the first all-black starting 5 to win a national championship in women's basketball. Give people a sense of the impact that team made.
You know, just keeping it 100%, Dave, I didn't realize that until last year someone mentioned that to me, and I was like, oh, really? Okay, well, that was kind of cool. But, you know, it was just a special group of people. And it's funny, people think that our success was 100% on my shoulders. Well, all you got to do is look at Pam and Paula McGee. I mean, they were the most dominant force inside and out that women's basketball had ever seen. And then you throw me in the mix, and then Cynthia Cooper, and then we had Rhonda Wyndham. Are you kidding me? We were ready to go, and living in Los Angeles. So we were kind of like Showtime. We were the female version of the Lakers.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about like what that time was like in the emerging interest in women's basketball, because as someone who lived through it, who remembers that team vividly, you had a real impact. That team had an impact on the sport, kind of writ large, of how good and how exciting women's basketball could be, but also the cultural component of it, some of that stuff I was talking about. What was it like to live through that and be a part of it?
It was crazy, and it's something that I think all of us embrace, Dave, naturally. I mean, look, you put a camera and throw a mic in the middle of these people up here, what could possibly go right or what could possibly go wrong? And so we embraced it, but I think the beauty of the game when we played is when you had a rival, you had a rival. Like, you couldn't stand to hear their name called. You couldn't stand their colors. You couldn't stand them. And that was Louisiana Tech and Kim Mulkey and the lady texters. I mean, just hearing that, you know, just kind of makes your skin crawl and the hair on the back of your neck go up. But those were powerful, powerful games. And then, you know, on the verge of becoming a superpower was Pat Summitt in Tennessee. And so a lot of competition, a lot of great players across the country.
So what's your best memory of your time at SC?
My goodness, there's too many, you know, to say, but I'd say the most vivid for me was the first day of practice. The first day of practice, walking up those steps to the gym, and then looking on the court and seeing this talent. And our practices, Dave, were vicious. They were hard. Coach barely blew the whistle except for water and for rest. but we were more prepared. The games came easier because the battles on the court and in practice really propelled us. And so I think those are my fondest memories. And look, don't get me wrong, the championships are great, but it was the practices and the iron sharpening iron and us finding a way to not get in each other's way. And Linda Sharp did a great job of maneuvering it and mastering it and keeping us, keeping the main thing, the main thing.
And that main thing, obviously, was playing great ball and winning, and you guys were phenomenal at that. And as I said, I mean, I kind of remember all of this very vividly. And, you know, I understand you're giving credit to all those other women on the team. I mean, you were truly the superstar of that group. It was pretty amazing in going through and preparing for this. Like, I did not know that you scored 105 points in a high school game. That's kind of crazy. You know,
it was a good game. I was having a good night that night.
She's hot. Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine what that looked like. But I certainly remember your dominance. And so I think about this a lot in the context. And I sat down with Ann Myers last year and a similar question with her. Big sis. Because obviously she was a phenomenal player too, and there weren't the same opportunities for her coming out, and there weren't the same opportunities for you coming out that there are for women today. And then obviously for you got hurt as well. Do you ever have any pangs of regret, Cheryl? Kind of this thought of, man, if I had been born a little bit later, what would the opportunities have been, and what my life have been in terms of basketball?
Not at all. Dave, no regrets whatsoever. And the reason I'm able to say that, and it's genuine and it's authentic, is because I watched Ann Myers. And I think of Annie Myers-Drysdale, what she might have been able to accomplish, but she paved the road for me. She was the one that made playing defense exciting, diving for the loose balls. Whether you were 20 points up or 20 points down, you just continued to play hard. And then she paved the way for me into broadcasting. So, you know, I just look at a lot of the players, and not only just Annie, but you look at Nancy Lieberman, Lynette Woodard. So there's been some thousands of great players whose lives might have been different had the WNBA been possible. But that's not the case. And I would have been, Dave, I would have been a hot mess with NIL money. You couldn't tell, first of all, you couldn't tell me anything, Dave, when I was broke. Okay, you couldn't tell me anything about when I was broke. Now you give me some money, shh. wouldn't have been an arena big enough to house this head.
All right, so the answer to this isn't money, I suppose, given what you just said there. But what's the greatest thing? What's the greatest thing the sport of basketball gave you, Cheryl?
It gave me discipline. It taught me humility. It taught me how to overcome obstacles, difficulties. And I think the biggest thing it taught me was to be able to reach out and ask for help, and to be vulnerable, and how to be trusting. And all that came by being a part of my teammates in USC experience as a student athlete.
You've been a coach post-broadcasting, or post-playing. You've been a broadcaster as well. Yeah. What's brought you the most satisfaction since you stopped playing?
Oh, broadcasting. That coaching stuff will kill you. I don't care. You have to have a completely different mindset and focus and dedication. That's why the Genos and, you know, Otherworld, and I just Don Staley and Coach G and all the coaches, I applaud them. Standing ovation to them, because what they have to endure, how they have to teach differently. And those days of being able to grab players and shake them and you know, get over here and yell at them and all that, that's dead and gone. So you have to approach the game differently. You have to coach the game differently. And I don't have that. I don't have that mindset whatsoever, nor the temperament or the patience. So broadcasting was the best for me. It was win-win, whether it's being a sideline reporter, you know, for the NBA and talking to the stars. That was always fun. I think my greatest joy during that time was, interviewing Reggie. And Reggie was the worst interviewer. I hated having to interview him. He was difficult. There was no nepotism when it came to reporters, not even to me. So, but yeah, I love broadcasting. That was where I felt I was at peace. And that's the closest job I ever had that was similar to playing, to being a former player.
How so?
Because you're in the game. And the best part, Dave, I always win. Yeah. I go home a winner. There's no losing as a sideline reporter. 100% right. All the time, I'm right. I'm right there in the middle of winning a championship, too.
You obviously covered the men's game as a reporter. The women's game has exploded in popularity. What has it meant to you as one of the greatest players in the history of the sport to see what has happened here in this golden age of women's basketball that we're living in?
Well, I'm one of many, first and foremost. I think my pride swells not just from the athleticism of the players, but the fact that these young ladies control and dominate their narratives. They speak their minds. They have their own voice, and they use it. Sometimes I may not have said that, but they stand by it, and they are unapologetically them, and it has boosted the game. So, women's basketball is in a great place right now. I am hopeful that the collective bargaining agreement will be a done deal by the end of this month, hopefully early next month, so we can get this going. But I am really, really proud of all the players I've been able to watch. And the great thing is just every now and then instilling a little knowledge, dropping a little basketball knowledge, not only just on the court, but off the court as well.
Well, I know you've been a very vocal supporter of what USC is doing, what Lindsey Gottlieb has done here. And, we look at that Mount Rushmore, and you might need to make some room for Juju and Jazzy here in the
making some room
in the years to come. What has it been like to see this revival of USC women's basketball under Lindsey?
I'm telling you, I'm her biggest fan. And I know there are a lot of people out there that love Lindsey. But Lindsey has done it the right way. I didn't know behind the scenes when she got hired how it was so important for her to reach out and to the former players, to all the former players, and bring us in collectively and gave us a voice and really gave us something to embrace again. And that's all we wanted, was just to, how can we be of service? That was our motto. And just to watch her groom the players and the players that she's bringing in has been fantastic. And you're right. There's going to be a lot more figureheads up here behind me, and I can't wait to see how many people we can squeeze in there.
Well, you mentioned Reggie, and of course he was a great star at UCLA before going on to his NBA career. It was fun to watch the two of you spar courtside a little bit at the game, the USC-UCLA game at Pauley in January. It was probably more fun for Reggie, frankly, than it was for you. I know it's been a tough year for USC with the injuries, but will we see the two of you going at it again here March 1st at the Galen Center?
See, that's the difference between Reggie and I. Okay, at least I'll go to UCLA. I'll go into the den of the enemy. I have yet to see him having courtside seats, mind you, to come to the game at the Galen Center. But he's always chirping, and I'm chirping back. But I've got to give a lot of credit to Coach Close. What a great team she's assembled. They are locked and loaded and focused on I think something as obscene as a 20-game win streak. And then they are looking good. They are on top of the Big Ten, and they are the Giants who everybody else needs to slay, but they have been impressive to watch this season.
Well, Cheryl Miller, this was an incredible thrill. Really fun to have you on. A real joy. Congratulations on this honor. Thanks so much for giving us some of your time today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.